This is Luke Fontaine. He's built 6 businesses. He's doing some really cool things in the world of AI, but he had zero clarity on his personal brand. So I sat down with him, and in under 2 hours, we mapped out his whole brand, who he's talking to, and how to turn his knowledge into a profitable personal brand. Before we even touched content formats or platforms, we started with one question that most people skip entirely. What do you want to happen as a result of building this brand? This is what that looked like.
So first thing we're going to start with is your goals. Naturally, you can't really build a brand if you don't know what you want to happen as a result of having this brand. So if you had to define overarching, like 3 to 5, maybe even 10 years from now, like what do you want to happen as a result of this personal brand?
I think the first thing is figuring out a format of how I can share what I do that impacts others.
Okay.
Impact's a little vague.
Yep.
But again, I'm the guy that'll spend 15 hours a day doing stuff. I just want to be able to share, whether it's the technology, whether it's investment stuff that I'm doing that just helps other people.
Okay. So provide value to others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. We can refine that down further in a second, but keep word vomiting.
Yeah. Well, you provide value to others. Yeah. In a one-to-many format versus, as we've talked about, I do a lot of one-to-one format.
Okay.
And so, yeah, one-to-many.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just like the networking effect. I've met some of my closest friends and people from social media.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, if I'm not posting the content, doing the things, it doesn't drive in and provide the value. So like connecting with like-minded people, building that network and meeting the new friends.
Perfect. Okay. Any other goals that you have from this?
Yeah, obviously, I'm always revenue and opportunity driven.
Yep.
So I don't know how we define that, but being able to monetize in a way.
Okay.
What I've done, not exactly sure exactly what that looks like, but monetization around that.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, if you're not monetizing your brand, then it starts to feel like a chore instead of something that you want to keep up with. So I definitely agree that should be a part of it. Okay. So let's drill down on these a little bit further because it's going to be near impossible to map out formats that we're creating, the content pillars, like all of the places that we want to show up if we don't get really, really clear on what this looks like. So provide value to others in a one-to-many format. We've talked about like the areas that you're interested in. Operations, real estate, AI, they're kind of all in that wealth market. So if we had to define a goal for you to help people achieve X thing, what would that be, roughly? And oftentimes thinking about your own journey is really helpful in this.
Maybe maybe it's efficiency. Because again, if I can make someone X more efficient, whether that's in how they invest their dollars or leveraging AI, it is what creates leverage and efficiency.
Okay.
So they get back more time, which is the most precious resource.
Okay. So help provide value to entrepreneurs or people aspiring to be?
Already established.
Okay. So entrepreneurs to help make them more efficient and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that feel clear already?
Yeah. And save time.
Any specific type of entrepreneurs that you feel called to support or just entrepreneurs as a whole? For instance, a gas station owner is very different to...
digital first or digital, I would say digital focused entrepreneurs.
Perfect.
So whether that's e-com, whether that's info, whether that's an AI agency, whether that's anything that can be run totally from a laptop.
Perfect. So help provide value to online entrepreneurs to help make them more efficient and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then connect with cool people. I also have this as a goal. And it's already kind of played out that way in my life. Like we were just talking about a really cool consulting opportunity that I got because I had a personal brand and they saw my early YouTube videos and that facilitated that connection. So when we really think about cool people, like there's a lot of cool people out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
is there one specific person or like a group of people, a pocket of people that you want to get into? For instance, just so you have context, like if we were trying to meet the cutting edge engineers of AI, we would probably start talking about and producing very different types of content to if we were trying to meet, more entertainment focused people.
Well, and so maybe this is what's wrong with like the broad approach, but it's like on one end of the spectrum, like I have friends in the music industry that play Madison Square Garden doing that. It's like, I love having friends like that. Mm-hmm. Then on the other side, I have friends who are also developing really crazy stuff in AI. Same with real estate. It's just, I guess it's people that have high standards and like really great goals for themselves.
Okay.
And it's just somebody I'd want to have dinner with.
Okay.
And I know that I can equally exchange value and they can exchange value back.
Okay.
And it's mutually beneficial versus, I know you've experienced the sucking side where everyone's like, just tell me.
Yeah, 1,000%. So maybe connect with people building businesses with similar values.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then monetization. So maybe for a little bit of context, you can share like how you currently make money and if that is an avenue that we're looking to drive more traffic to, or if you're kind of thinking of positioning yourself for other opportunities potentially in future that are unknowns, like how are you thinking about monetization?
Yeah, so currently on there's multiple sides. So like on the real estate side, we buy deals. So I have a lot of like wholesalers and even people that have funds that are bringing opportunities. Each house, it has a value associated to it. So that's one way. And then same with people that want to invest into real estate. Those are the two sides there. Same as with people that want to leverage really cool tech. We're working on a lot of really fun AI stuff. And so that's something as well, people that want to leverage that to back to the first point, which is like get more efficiency, get more time back, make more money.
Perfect. And you're kind of interesting because you've had the ability to generate traffic without having a brand.
Yes.
And you've partnered with people that have the brand, and you've also created businesses that don't really require one. And I know from just chatting with you, there's kind of a mentality where you're like, I don't need the brand to generate traffic, but it does make things a little bit more efficient and a little bit nicer. Is there a part of what you're doing currently that you're seeing a brand would be necessary or would make things much more efficient that we want to focus on?
I think one of the biggest reasons why I'm looking at this is obviously what's going on with AI right now, personal brand, that moat that can be created there. Also, just the feedback I get in even Instagram this week, there's a few people, it's like, I don't even really know what you do, but dude, it seems like you've exited the matrix, done this, like I want to learn more. And so for me, I just know sharing that is really important. But as far as that endpoint, that's still where I'm a little...
Okay. And you can shift and change this over the years. Like, you know, my story, I have pivoted so many different times. So right now, if we were to think about establishing a brand in the next 6 to 12 months, the opportunity that you would want to initially drive traffic to, does something come to mind?
Or I guess that's a question I would have for you. Is there any way to blend those things together, or does that just convolute or just dilute the brand itself?
Yeah, good question. So normally when you're getting started, you want to kind of own a small pocket. So you want to start niche down and then expand from there. Also, if we're defining the goal of this, like let's say your goal was, I want to add on $500K a month in revenue, then we would want to go, okay, what is the highest leverage opportunity to do that? And then focus on driving the traffic there.
And I guess that's how I've always seen it too. A lot of people usually have like an info offer or an agency, a service that they sell. And so that makes sense. On the real estate side, funny enough, I really actually don't think I need the personal brand to get levers there. We already have those systems in place that
it's already running.
We can get more out of. So I think for this, it would be right now, I want to hop on this AI trend. And even with that, it can blend back to real estate and how I'm using it in real estate. But that being the core, just because Claudebot, all the things that are going on right now, there's so much traffic and attention going there. And I'd rather ride that than the real estate one that's been put out.
And you're also, from what I know of you, you're very passionate about the AI stuff. And naturally, if you're building a brand, something that you're really inspired to create around is going to be way more sustainable versus it feeling like a chore and you have to show up and do that every day. So we'll put as the third goal, monetize through an AI offer for now. And this can shift and change because that supports your core goal of helping provide value to online entrepreneurs to make them more efficient. Obviously, AI makes online entrepreneurs way more efficient. So there's a lot of congruency there. All right, so those are all three goals. You want to help provide value to online entrepreneurs to help make them more efficient, make more money, connect with similar people building businesses with similar values. So therefore, demonstrating your values in your content is going to do that. Monetize through an AI offer is the plan right now.
I already sort of see where this is going. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That I already made content way more clear.
Exactly right. I mean, it's literally like trying to drive somewhere that you don't have a map to get to. It's impossible. So that's why mapping it out makes it so much clearer, but also so much more effective.
So we mapped out the goals, but here's what most founders don't realize. If your identity doesn't match your goals, you will self-sabotage every single time. So Luke and I had to dig in what identity he needed to take on and any blockers that were actually getting in his way.
All right. So the second part, and I know that you're a very logical person, but this is really, really important to go through because if we have these goals, a lot of the time you've seen it, like people have goals, but then their identity doesn't match the goals. And so therefore they don't execute upon this plan that we're going to put together that will be very clear and very structured. But if your identity is stuck in, I'm the operator behind the scenes, which has been, a big part of your identity thus far and has made you very successful, then we're not going to ultimately execute upon this. So based on those three goals, let's say we do all of this 6 to 12 months from now, you have a brand, 3 years from now, you have a brand. What would you need to believe in order to act in line with these goals?
Can you give me an example?
Yes. So you're like, I'm going to phone a friend on this one.
Phone a friend.
Okay. So for instance, maybe if I had the belief that I value my privacy right? Which you can have a personal brand and value your privacy for sure. You don't have to show every facet of your life. But let's say you had a belief that sharing too much online is like a risk or there's a negative connotation, right?
Yeah.
Then creating content is not going to be something you embed in your everyday life. It's not going to become a part of your daily actions or a batched basis.
Let's use that one right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I value
Privacy.
my privacy. Okay. So what would you need to believe in order to build the brand that reaches, let's just use a round number, 1 million people, right? You reach 1 million people with this brand, but you have this conflicting belief, which is, I see a risk in that and I value my privacy. What would you need to believe for your mind to go, okay, I can build to that number and still feel safe in these ways?
To your point, this is where my logical brain just short circuits.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I think at least for me, it's like that is always going to be a risk.
Yeah.
But I have to accept that risk for the benefit of having this thing.
Absolutely.
And so I'm willing to do that regardless, even though that risk is going to be
1,000%. And I think with any fear, it's really helpful to go to like, what is the disaster fantasy? Like, what's the worst case scenario that you picture with this? Mm-hmm. And then do I have, you do this in business all the time. Can I deal with that? Do I have a plan? Do I know what I would do?
And is that worth the benefit?
Exactly.
Which it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like, yeah, there are some strange people online, but is it worthwhile to you to help 1,000 entrepreneurs, 1 million entrepreneurs get more efficient in their business, connect with cool people, monetize? Is it worth, a handful of people potentially being strange? Mm-hmm. And even then, you know what to do with that if it does happen.
I think that's the other, or I have another belief too.
Yeah, go for it.
It's, and this is true in any walks of life. There are so many people out there far smarter at the things that I do.
Okay.
And it's like, well, why even share that?
Okay. Yeah.
I met this guy who lives in, I don't know, Kansas who, oh my God, he knows this thing far better than I.
For sure.
And I believe, imposter syndrome.
We all have it.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. I think even the people at the top of their field probably have it. Mm-hmm. In a way, that's what gets you to the top of your field because you don't believe that you know enough just yet. So you keep learning. So it has like a positive edge to it. But to your point of like, why share? You know the saying, like you only need to be 10% ahead to be able to help someone. You know far more than me about AI right now. I don't necessarily need to go to Elon Musk to learn AI. I could learn it from you.
Yeah. And like the point on that, the whole imposter syndrome, it's like, it's whoever's quickest to action.
Exactly.
That is the person that wins. He's the person that takes the bread. I know people that run companies that I'm like, I can't believe they run that company.
Yeah.
And hey, they're doing $1 million a month.
I've seen it too. For sure. There's far more talent, or there's people far less talented than you out there doing the thing just because they're actually doing it. Yeah. Okay, so we're writing out the fears, which is actually one of my other slides, but we need to turn these into identity. So we'll flip them in a sec. Is there any other fears that you have or any things that are maybe stop you from executing upon this plan?
Well, back to the first part, if efficiency and time is super important to me, all of a sudden you get to the end of this year or 5 years or whatever, and it didn't do the thing that you wanted it to do.
And in a sense, like in your businesses, have you ever had that where you've worked really hard at something and you maybe just haven't hit the metric?
Yeah, of course, all the time.
So how do you deal with that in your mind?
Be working on 10 things at the same time because 2 guarantee will work, 8 will fail, but you move 2 forward and then you reassess those and hopefully those ones work out in the next 2 months.
So you're in a really good place then because you already have a working business. You don't need this as a part of it. So this is an extension that you're adding on.
It's an experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if we had to flip these into identities, right? So for instance, example of an identity is if I wanted to get super jacked at the gym, then I would need to believe I'm an athlete.
Oh, okay.
Versus waking up in the morning and believing like, I just get straight to work. I'm like, no, I'm an athlete. I get up at 5, I go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I eat healthily. Because if we really think about like, I value my privacy, really it's a fear of not being safe. Someone's going to do something that's going to impact us negatively.
I'm going to say one thing that's going to be leveraged into another thing and it's just
1,000%
used against me.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm safe despite sharing online and you'll put protocols in place, XYZ. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be sharing like lifestyle content. You're going to be doing different types. So what would you need to believe about your knowledge to be able to show up and share it, even when you know that there are people that are more knowledgeable, which is true of everyone in the world?
Yeah, and I don't know how to frame it into this form, but it's like people are already asking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's proof in itself.
What I know can help people.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then this one's probably the most interesting one. What do we need to believe about this potential scenario of getting 12 months down the road? And then maybe you've made some traction, but it hasn't hit your ultimate goal just yet. What do we need to believe to stop that from getting in the way of us even starting?
Find value in the actual metric and consistency versus the outcome.
Okay. So I find value in the process.
Yeah. Or in the consistency of just doing versus the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a huge one. Even if you get to a year and you're like, hey, I've posted 200 pieces of content online, that's a win.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a super small percentage of people that have even done that.
1,000%. And because you already value efficiency so much, I do as well. One of the things that I tie it to is like, everyone's going to produce a piece of content that flops every now and then. So it's like, even if that supports 10 people, now that's 10 people that I can serve without having to use my one-to-one time now. I can just, it's like an SOP library of your mind. So instead of thinking of it as like, I got to get the most amount of views, I got to like hit all these metrics, which is how our brains are wired. Just thinking of it like, okay, every single piece of content I create is something that I can send out to someone when they ask me a question. You're building like a knowledge base. All right. Does this feel like a good, solid identity? Do we have anything still lingering that's eating away at you that might get in the way?
No, the first one's really like, it's like 80% of the bandwidth.
Okay, perfect. And I think we can go into detail on this offline about what that looks like.
A personal brand isn't a logo or colors, it's reputation. And a reputation is built on what you consistently stand for, stand against, and what associations you create for yourself. So for Luke, we had to figure out what are the parts of him that we wanted to show, and especially which parts we wanted to dial up for the audience that he wanted to build.
Now we're going to get into the actual brand part of it. So people get really, really confused about what a personal brand actually is. A brand is just your reputation, and that is just what people associate you with. So we've seen it over and over. Alex Hormozi, you associate him with business, right?
No stirs.
Exactly. Yeah. Wife beater. Not literally, but the shirt. For me in the early days, it was like Amy, Lambo, like cars. It's changed over time. But to define a strong personal brand, we just have to be consistent about what we stand for, what we stand against, and what we want to associate ourselves with. Another example of this is like high-end brands. Think about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, etc. They associate themselves with celebrities, locations, other brands that raise their status. Yeah. So therefore, you think of them as high status.
That's no different than like F1.
1,000%. Exactly. So that's all a brand really is just being consistently opinionated about what you stand for, what you stand against, and the associations that you're bringing into your content. So for instance, associations-wise, like if I showed up and delivered business value, but I was doing it in, I had a horse farm at one point. If I was sitting in the field at the horse farm, you would associate me very differently. You'd associate me with like country. Versus if I am sitting in an environment like this, you might associate with like fitness and cars. Right. So we're going to map out like firstly what you stand for, stand against, and some examples I can give you because it'll make it a little bit easier. For me, like I stand for feeling the fear and doing it anyway, doing the work and systemizing the work to gain leverage, overcoming limitations, building a personal brand, getting ahead financially, keeping it simple, good leadership, cash flow businesses, and creating leverage. So these are, you know me, that's kind of like when you talk to me, you probably get a sense of that. And a good brand is like true of you as a person in private and on camera. So what do you, and I can help you with these since I know you, what do you stand for?
Well, the first thing that came to like my mind is like being a good steward of wealth.
Managing money well?
Yeah. Generating money, managing your money well, growing that.
Getting ahead?
Yeah.
Strategically?
Or not really sacrificing, but just doing the things to set yourself up for your like future in 10 years.
Discipline?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that one.
That's the one. What else do you stand for?
I can't swear. I almost.
You can swear.
Sorry, no, not to say fuck.
I stand for swearing.
Yeah, no, but that's what came to mind. But it was just like, do the thing over feelings. Like it's so many days you can wait and be like, crap. All right, so I got to go. I don't know. Earlier on, all this outreach to real estate. I don't want to do it, but it's just do the thing to get the metric to get the result.
Okay.
So it's just like
results over feelings.
Yeah.
I think Layla has a good fuck your mood, follow the plan saying around this. All right, results over feelings. What else do you stand for? And these don't all have to be like wealth related. It's just like you as a human. What do you stand for?
Honoring your yes. Like don't doing things just because someone else wants to do something. It's just
okay.
Do you.
So like personal power?
Unapologetically. Yeah.
Things that you stand against.
Laziness.
Laziness, yeah.
Over complexity.
Some examples that might get you get your mind kind of going here. For me, like I stand against college debt. Being unfulfilled in traditional jobs, feelings dictating actions. We share that value. Crap AI content, fluffy stuff, faceless businesses, settling victimhood. Feel free to borrow any of those, or if you want to build this out further after we chat. And I think that will resonate with, the demographic of people that are probably going to be interested in the AI side of things. Because you want to make sure it's congruent too. For instance, if I was marketing to new moms, associating with hustle and business probably wouldn't connect, right?
Yeah.
So I think that does make sense.
And this, like honing down, and I see where this is all trending towards. It's like there are entrepreneurs out there that wake up at 8 and they're done by 5, and then they go, I don't know, cuddle or go to dinner, and then they're asleep by 9. I'm like, I don't know if I want to associate versus the people that are like, I'll grind late at night. Those are the people that have the energy that I want to be or want to associate with.
You're more Alex Hormozy than Tim Ferriss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so hustle's a part of it. Any other? I mean, I'm going to put watches in here because I know you, and I actually do think that resonates with who you are as a person. Like, you like them; it's a part of your life, and it does resonate with your demographic. Yeah, and it's an investment. There you go. You could literally talk about that if you wanted to.
This is where most brand strategies fall apart. People create content for everyone, which means that it resonates with no one. So we got specific, really specific.
All right, now we're going to talk about your avatar, because if we show up and we try and talk into this abyss, which is the internet, and we don't think of a literal person like behind the camera, who are we speaking to? Then it becomes really, really hard and also very inauthentic, because I think you're trying to be something for everyone. And you're actually stepping away from, I just want to provide value to this person, which was your initial goal. Like, you want to help provide value to online entrepreneurs to make them more efficient and make them more money. So if we can map out a specific name for this person, a description of them, what do they hope for, what are their dreams, what are their fears, blockers, and what is the offer for them, it makes it so much clearer. So for instance, like, I have a client, her name's Carrie. And I think of her, like, I have 2 different avatars because I have 2 different offers, but I think of her when I'm creating content that helps someone get from 0 to 10K online. And so I call that avatar Confused Carrie. I have a description of her. I know what she wants. I know where she struggles. And so then I can mirror that in my hooks, in everything. And at the top of, like, our YouTube scripts, we can write their name, and it's like, it drops you into, I'm just talking to Carrie. And it takes you out of this, like, oh my God, there's 4 cameras on me. There's a lot happening. When we think about this person, one person, and ideally if it's someone that you've worked with or know in your everyday life, it makes it more real. Is there someone that comes to mind that you want to help provide value to, that is an online entrepreneur, that you could make more efficient and help them make more money, that we can use? Can we give them, you can use their real name, or you can give them a...
We're going to use a different name.
Okay, perfect. So for me, like, I say Confused Carrie because it literally, like...
Oh, I was going to say Interested Ian.
Okay, perfect. Interested Ian. We can define that further. Okay, give me a description of Interested Ian, like, couple sentences.
Has already successfully built and sold a company, is like 10 to 15 years older than like where I'm at.
Okay.
So they're in their 40s. So, yeah, so it's already done the thing, that have enough money to have the lifestyle. Kids have already gone off to like college. They're doing that. They live a good lifestyle. And still, from the business experience, he's very like hungry to be in the next thing, or invest in the next thing, get the next tech, and still be on the forefront and not be left behind.
Okay, wants to be on the forefront and not get left behind. What does he, and I'll explain these a little bit further, what does he hope will happen? What is the dreams that he wants from that? And I'll give you my examples. So for Confused Carrie, if she's someone that wants to build a personal brand, make money online, vaguely has a niche and an offer, but not making sales, not growing, she's confused, she doesn't know why, what to do, she's insecure, she's starting to think it's her, she's scattered, she's got a fear of being seen, imposter syndrome, all the things. What she hopes for, she hopes tangibly to happen, is to be able to quit her job, make stable income online, 10K, and have inbound opportunities from the personal brand. Her dreams are a little different because we hope to quit our jobs so that we can have time freedom, financial freedom, connection, and fun. So that's kind of the difference between hopes and dreams. One is like, what do we tangibly hope to happen? And then what is the outcome of that we like dream for? So what does Interested Ian hope to happen? Is he like, he wants to automate his business and spend more time with his family? Is it making more money? Like,
it's definitely the potential of making more money, having the next big thing. But like, this avatar for sure has already sort of done that first level. So they can just be comfortable. But also, I want to say it's a bit of ego, them being a part of that next thing. So they have something to talk about at the country club, at the next dinner.
Okay. So their hopes, how would you verbalize that in like a couple sentences here?
Got it.
Talk about it at the country club. I can see you creating hooks. Do you want something to talk about at the country club?
Are you bored about John?
Exactly. And this will make it a little bit more grounded for you. So because I know that Confused Carrie, like the beginner avatar, wants to make 10K a month online, it's helpful for me then if I can put that type of verbiage in certain hooks.
Yeah.
So I just did a reel that was like, keep 4 cut for first 10K online edition. Right? That appeals. Now Carrie tunes into that.
Yeah.
Other people tune out of that.
As far as this Ian guy that I'm thinking about, the hopes for this is diverse. Like, this is more in the real estate stuff and AI, but diversifying wealth and making more money. And getting to spend more time with family and traveling and doing the things that they want to do.
Okay, so that's kind of the dream that comes from diversifying wealth and making more money, right? Is more time with family. Is there anything related to, because obviously like your avatar is logical. How does he feel? Is he like now no longer stressing about something, or is he not stressed because he's already kind of made it?
Well, the thought is, at least I've seen this time, most people that do that and they have an exit or they have their first company, then they get bored. And so they're looking to fill that time with something that has financial benefit that's sometimes not building a new business. It's either working on their business or investing.
Are they unfulfilled and they're actually looking for something like a...
Yeah, that's valid.
Okay, perfect.
A new identity almost.
Yeah, lacking a sense of purpose. Okay, from them going from where interested Ian is to where he wants to go, what are his fears along the way?
It doesn't work out.
Okay. His fears are, is it like the investment opportunity doesn't work out? Or, yeah. Okay, so losing money investing is a fear. Mine's like being seen, looking stupid, failing, not making enough money, struggling financially, responsibility, doing it all alone.
Yeah, I'd pull out the responsibility there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they fear responsibility?
Yeah.
Of managing the wealth that they've built?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everyone thinks it's way easier than it actually is, and then all of a sudden you get into it.
I know, it sounds like the craziest thing to say, but I've had friends do really well, and the conversation is like, it's actually really hard to have a lot of money. Okay. And then what's blocking them from getting them where they want to go? So for Carrie, she has a bad niche and offer, no leads and visibility, a mindset that gets in the way, lack of emotional capacity, short-term thinking, fear of sales, skill gap. So there's a lot of things getting in her way of getting where she wants to go. What is stopping Ian from more time with the family, traveling more, diversifying his wealth, making more money? What's stopping him?
The right tools.
Okay, so he's lacking the right tools.
Knowledge.
Skill gap.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, it's tools, skill gap, support system. Like the people help you when shit goes wrong.
Okay. In the description, just going back up here, here's where I think we can get a little more specific. This is someone that's already built and sold a company. He's a little bit older than you, has enough money to have the lifestyle. He's hungry for the next thing, wants to be on the forefront and not get left behind, lacking a sense of purpose and identity after a successful exit.
Now, once you know who you're talking to, you need one sentence that creates desire every single time someone encounters your content. This is the framework I use, and it's the difference between content that looks good and content that actually converts.
Marketing and sales. Speaking of marketing and sales and being operationally illiterate, a lot of people are operationally very, very smart, but marketing and sales illiterate. So one of the things that you need to have to effectively market and sell, which I know you know, is a core message that creates desire. And so the framework that I've found to work really, really well for that, and this isn't that you say this literally in every piece of content, but your ads, your marketing, your content has a general message to it that people walk away with. And the framework that I like to use for this is to achieve X, the dream result, you think you need Y, but you actually need unique mechanism, which is the offer. So I'll give you an example here. To get fit and have six-pack abs, you think you need to cut calories and work out 7 days a week, but you actually need to fix your hormones, right? That would be like a functional health offer. So when we interact with people's pages that kind of give you this sense, we naturally have this desire. We're like, oh my God, I want that thing. I've been doing all these things. I thought I needed that, but I actually needed this. So for Ian, if he's managing a big team, I thought I needed to hire 50 people to scale to X amount in revenue, or I thought I needed to work 16 hours a day to get there. That's the things he thinks he needs to achieve this dream outcome, whether it's revenue or, whatever that might be with the company. But he actually just needs
a digital operator.
Right. So let's create this sentence for you, because again, it gives you a lens to look through when you're creating content. So for instance,
you don't need a C-suite team.
You don't need a C-suite team. And you can kind of play with the words a little bit.
Well, yeah, where it's like to achieve, or I guess, how would I rephrase that? Don't need a C-suite team to have your business run by itself.
To gain leverage in your business?
Sure.
Is there a specific revenue number? Like if they're a 7-figure entrepreneur, it's like you don't need a C-suite team to hit 8 figures. You just need X. Yeah?
Yeah. That's very fair. Yeah. The multi-7 to the 8-figure mark.
Perfect. Because obviously someone that's like scaling to $1 billion will be like, no, I absolutely need a C-suite team. So it's helpful to kind of have that context. So you don't need a C-suite team to gain leverage in your business, and I'll put to hit 8 figures. You actually need...
I haven't coined or done this, but it's a digital operator, but it's also a digital operating system.
Perfect. So how that plays out is like for me, because I know what my core message is, if I'm just going about my day, it becomes very easy for me to share stories that create desire because I know that I'm kind of depicting this core message. So for instance, like I know you were playing around with your digital operating system the other day. And if you, like one of the things that you had happen was like Author, which is your AI bot, got a refund on your Amex.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very easy to create desire. And you got a lot of people inbound to you when you posted that because that was depicting the dream outcome for this person. They thought they needed an EA or something like that, but they actually just needed the AI operating system. So you can see how effective that is to create desire. We just need to do that consistently instead of like Instagramming out food because it has no relevancy. We want to be sharing strategically to create that desire, which you're already doing naturally, which is a good sign because you don't want your personal brand to feel so removed from who you are.
And that's, again, back to the earlier in this document, and I always lose track. This is all new to me, but like I share those things and I'm like, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
15 seconds, all of a sudden I got $2,200 back on my card.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? This is an EA I'm following up with. That the internet goes out in the Philippines. They can't get the thing done.
1,000%. Yeah. And it's something you're genuinely passionate about. So it's all kind of matching up now, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
With identity locked in and a clear avatar, now we could finally talk about platforms. But not all of them, just the right one for him. Here's the system we built. A lot of founders think that they need to show up everywhere in the beginning, but for most, that is not reasonable and definitely not efficient. So we focused on building out one offer, one platform to $1 million.
All right. So now let's talk about the channels that we are going to be.
I see a lot of them.
Yes. And we're not going to do all of these because, again, one offer, one marketing channel to $1 million is generally my thesis on this. With you, and the best way to think about this is like, what do you enjoy the most and what can you be the most consistent with? And also, where does my avatar live?
Yeah.
What are they consuming? So do you have, like, we've got here Instagram, organic, YouTube.
Assuming that's where I want to go.
Okay. Do we think that your avatar of the in between 7 and 8 figure interested Ian, he's going to find you on Instagram? It's kind of already happening, but yeah, you feel good about that? All right. So then we're going to focus solely on Instagram because you don't have time to do much else or you don't really want to jump into much else?
Well, it's funny. Like if it was the real estate side, it'd be YouTube.
Okay.
But again, for it, like AI stuff, I really think Instagram, TikTok, those are really the two platforms.
So you mentioned TikTok. Are you wanting to repurpose Instagram to TikTok or do a separate channel?
I probably would repurpose.
Okay. So we'll kind of have that here as well.
Yeah. And I did this earlier on in real estate too. It's like I would just test the same content for those two channels, whichever one got the most and just double down on that one.
Okay, perfect. And then because you are wanting to build a brand from scratch, there is generally 3 different ways that you can build a brand. There's building it, borrowing it, and buying it. I know that buy probably sounds really appealing to you. So buying it is obviously like really, PR, paid ads.
Line placement, yeah.
Exactly, all of that kind of stuff.
I'll be in Forbes next week.
Exactly. I mean, it's very easy to do that. But we want to think about, okay, we're going to build. So that's going to be your home base is Instagram organic. So when someone finds you, you want it to be really speaking to interested Ian and be a good kind of knowledge base for you that creates desire. But we could also layer on, because this isn't something that's a big distraction and it also really kind of accelerates brand building, is borrowing. So whose podcasts can you get on? Because obviously Instagram is short, 60-second clips. So can you have your AI operating system design a podcast reach out process for you that strategically gets you on podcasts that have interested Ians on them? And they don't have to be the biggest podcast in the world because generally when you're getting started, it's like, people are going to look at audience size and only interact with people of similar audience sizes, but it can be niche and specific. So I do think that for you, that could be an accelerant and we can promote it on your feed so that when people are seeing you, even though you're just getting started on the Instagram side of things in this new way, because I know you've been posting, but in this new format that you're going with, if someone comes to your Instagram and they're like, oh, I like Luke, but I don't really have to trust because it's only like 60-second piece of content. But then every so long, you're sharing that you were on the XYZ scaling podcast and going really in depth about this thing. And it only takes an hour out of your time every month. That could be like a huge accelerant. How do you feel about doing and going on other people's podcasts?
Yeah, we already have a setup for it, so I don't have...
You literally have a media room right here, and I've never seen you use it. Probably, honestly, because you didn't have this clarity, right?
Yeah, I agree.
In large part, and some limiting beliefs. Okay, so audio podcasts, do we genuinely want to put that on there?
In my core, like, I guess it's not, I get overwhelmed quickly. I'm like, step one, build out the system for Instagram organic, get that going and consistent so then it feels light, then layer on podcast.
Okay.
Versus having to do that right off the bat, two different things. I'm like, let's start somewhere and then let's.
For sure. And with this too, I'm not saying both right away, but like in the next 12 months.
Yeah. Oh.
If you spent like 1 quarter Instagram getting that nailed and then, you start layering around podcasts, would that be
for sure
helpful? Okay, cool. So we're going to do, how frequent are we going to commit to posting on your Instagram organic?
Do stories count?
Stories are separate.
Oh, yeah. Feed content.
What feels achievable? Because you want to set goals that you can hit that are a slight stretch, but achievable so that you don't just beat yourself up because you don't ever hit them.
Yeah, 2 times.
2 times a week?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, a year. Okay, 2 times a week. With 2 times a week posting, is it reasonable to expect like massive growth? No, but it is going to start flexing your muscle and start building a page. So is this going to like drive traffic? Not necessarily. But if you start to get traffic from those other places, and I know you have an existing audience that'll benefit from this, so then it becomes valuable.
Yeah, and looking this over 12 months, starting at 2 times a week, that very quickly, once you build out a content system, the sky's the limit.
Right.
Okay. So I think I just need to get clarity in me building out the system, what that looks like, the content batching, editing.
Yep.
And then from there, like, how many times does Mosey post a day?
Ungodly. I think they post 600 pieces of content a week.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not that.
You're aiming real high.
You won't. No, I'm just. But I guess you start and then from there scale up that system to whatever breaking point there is.
Yeah. So generally, like the rule of thumb, so to speak, is like 3 times a day. If you're like in a high growth mode, 3 times a day. You don't have to do that. Again, it's all about like what's going to work for you and how many customers do you realistically need to reach. Like for instance, if this AI operator offer was going to be, I'm just using round numbers here, let's say it was $100,000 offer for these 7-figure entrepreneurs, you're like, I just need to reach like 10 people a quarter and I'm feeling pretty good about that. Versus if you have like a lower ticket offer, you're like, shit, I need volume. I really got to go big. So just thinking about that, I think you're on the right track. Like start 2 times a week because you're coming from no muscle on this and we got to build the muscle.
So yeah, probably would go to 2 times a week to then 2 times a day.
This will be a real test for your operating system to see if it can help you build all this out, which it definitely can. All right, content formats. So I left mine in here just to give you a little bit of an indication of what I'm thinking about as a personal brand that is also monetizing. First thing is like shifting beliefs, your core message, what we talked about. If you want X, it's not this, it's this. So that kind of comes through. So some formats around that. Educational frameworks and tips someone can instantly apply. I think that applies to you as well. This one, I'm curious how you feel about emotional resonance and storytelling. So I have this in here because generally your story is the strongest thing to move someone to take action if they can see themselves in your story. So do you have a story? And we can also map out like your story as it relates to this new kind of chapter of your brand. Do you have a story that you feel like Tony Robbins always tells the story of he was going hungry on Thanksgiving, someone came to his door, delivered a meal, and now he has this huge foundation that delivers a meal. He tells it on repeat. Do you have kind of like a brand story in mind for how you came to get to this like AI operator place and efficiency and wealth place?
Then I guess for me, I've always operated. I've had 6+ businesses at this point, and there's always points of getting overwhelmed and stretched, and not being able to have the right tools to do the thing. And so that's almost killed businesses before. And so I guess that's at least why I'm passionate around it now and developing it.
Perfect. And I think that's going to really resonate with your Ian character, right? Because he's feeling all those feelings. Like ultimately, I'm logical, you're logical, but we generally make moves because of some kind of emotion. So if you can speak to stories where you were like down and out, working 20 hours a day, like not sleeping, health sacrifice, relationship sacrifice, enter the solution. It's going to be more powerful than just here's how to do X.
100%.
I would recommend that you go and find a few accounts that have the kind of benchmark of the aesthetic, the style that you want to demonstrate, and just like screenshot them and put them in here as a reference point. For you, you're blessed. You have this space. It makes sense. I think this is probably going to be your aesthetic, I would imagine. But also,
and just my office. I always love that. Cue lights, vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of know the style. The other thing to think about is like fonts, colors. Again, this is not the pinnacle. It's not going to make it or break it, but we do want to create some consistency.
Typography and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so like a basic brand guide. I'm sure author can create one for you that positions you in the way that you want to be positioned. So like is it futuristic font? Is it clean and simple? Is it, and I'll give you an example of this. I had a client one time that had an offer that was supporting people who had cancer, and her branding was like bright pink princess branding. Naturally, she liked it. That's fine, but the two don't connect.
Yeah.
And so if we're positioning you with business, money, investing, success, discipline, hustle, watches.
Yeah. I'm not using pink.
Well, you're not using pink, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But just making sure that the brand makes sense, because oftentimes our personal desires.
Well, it's almost like monochrome black. Like I can start to see it.
Exactly. So I'll just find some examples and just pop them in here. Does it feel like a lot clearer?
Way clear. Definitely just the beginning part of just identity, fears, goals, understanding how that correlates to the end person is fabulous.
1,000%. I think the biggest takeaway, if you kind of forget all the little nuances, because it is a lot, I just threw like a lot at you in like an hour. If you forget anything else and just remember that you're just speaking to Ian.
Yeah.
Like that's the starting point. If anyone watching is just struggling with all of the technicalities, I know that you're not someone that really struggles with technicalities. That's why I just gave it all to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just speak to that one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just think of that person behind the camera. What do they need to hear, see, know each day? And you're going to build something.
100%.
Well, thanks for diving into it with me. I will send this over to Arthur and he can build it out in more detail.
Yeah. Well, and thanks for coming to space too.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Cool.
2 hours. That's all it took to go from, I don't really know what my brand is, to a complete playbook. Goals, identity, avatar, core message, formats, and very importantly, a 12-month commitment. Strategy isn't complicated. It never is. It's actually getting the clarity that's the hard part. So hopefully this video has helped you get a little more clarity on yours. Now, if you want the exact template that we went through together, just head on over to my Instagram and DM me the word PB guide, and I'll send you over the template for you to map yours out. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe, turn the little bell on so you can be notified whenever I post the next one.